Afternoon, everybody. Thank you to everybody already in the chat room. I've made it back. I made it back from France. Got in about 40 minutes ago. So yeah, thanks for everyone who wished me a good trip and all that. I appreciate it. But I just checked the Arsenal news, and I thought there was a couple of. Good afternoon, everybody. I thought there was a couple of stories that we should maybe go over. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Nav. Do you watch Joe Rogan? Never watched him, mate. How's my back? Still battered. Good afternoon to everybody in my chat room. But yeah, there's a couple of stories I just want to go over, right? First one, Stephan Lichtsteiner. He's gone. He's leaving. Thanks for the memories of tripping over in a celebration against Tottenham. It's time to say goodbye. Good afternoon to everybody. So yeah, I just wanted to go over a couple of topics. One sec, I need to charge my phone. 1 second, bear with me. Obviously, I've been away, so all the plugs are off. So I thought I was charging, and I wasn't charging. Schoolboy error. But yeah, Stephan Lichtsteiner is leaving the club. He's confirmed that on his Instagram. He's also confirmed that on his Twitter page with the link to Instagram. So yeah, I've literally just got back from France, Captain Underpants. So bear with me, bruv. Bear with me. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So yeah, Stephan Lichtsteiner's leaving. He's going. I thought that was pretty obvious, but it's been officially confirmed today by him. I did have a good trip, to everyone asking me. Thank you. Just a nice little weekend away, a long weekend. Proper holiday in July, 2 weeks. I'm going to Spain for 2 weeks. And then looking to go to Dubai in December. I'm going to try and squeeze another trip into France as well, possibly in October. But yeah, Stephan Lichtsteiner's going. I then see that there's a story about Xavier Amiachi. Apparently he's got the raging ump because he didn't get picked for the Europa League for the final, and he wants to leave the club. Now, before I did this stream, I had a little look at him. But like, I've heard of him. I've never seen him play apart from the little clips that float around on social media. But he only played 14 games for the under-23s last season, the season that's just finished. Scored 4 goals, 5 assists, so not too bad. But how this 18-year-old boy is crying and moaning and bitching about he didn't get selected for the Europa League final. Like, who does this guy think he is? Seriously. You hardly played for the under-23s, mate, and you think you're going to get in the Europa League on right wing over Aubameyang? Really? Like, and this is the problem with some of these young kids nowadays. He is in the last year of his contract, Brandon, he is. And I actually did a daily transfer update about him a couple of weeks back where Bayern Munich are linked to him. And personally, I think this story's just come out. I think he was injured, but that's irrelevant. You've only played 14 games and you think you should be starting or at least on the bench in a Europa League final. I don't get it. I love his confidence, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, these academy kids, they get given way too much, way too soon. And some of them, it goes to their head. You know, who does this kid seriously think he is? Does he genuinely think that he's better than Aubameyang on the right wing? Does he seriously think that? And, you know, at the end of the day, he is a very talented footballer from the clips I've seen. I've never seen him live, I must admit. But he's a right winger. He's very talented. But he ain't talented enough to be warranting a place on the bench in our biggest game of the season. He's better than Iwobi, you joker, Simon. In our biggest game of the season, I mean, he probably would have done better than Aubameyang. Let's not mud the kid off too much because Aubameyang ghosted that. But the fact of the matter is, he's 18 years old. He's done absolutely nothing in his career. And there's stories going around that he wants to leave because he's got the raging ump with Unai Emery because he didn't pick him for the squad for the Europa League final. If that's the case, bin him. Get rid of him. Because we want kids at this club that are going to, when they get their chance, take their chance. Not sit there crying about not getting picked over a £60 million player who was playing right wing that day. And this is the way modern football is now. You've only got to look at the kids down at Chelsea as well, and even Arsenal, any Premier League team now. I've been to the training ground a couple of times over the years. All these young kids are driving around in flash Mercedes-Benz convertibles. They're living better than all of us, and they've never kicked a ball in the Premier League. Yeah, so, they've never actually achieved anything, and they're all taking £10,000, £15,000, £20,000 a week. I mean, good luck to them, yeah? But don't come out crying and moaning that you didn't get picked for a Europa League final and other players did. Well, I'm sorry, Joe Willock is miles ahead of you, mate. Fact. Yes, it's a different position, but he's miles ahead of you. And personally, I don't even think Joe Willock's good enough for the first team right now. I think he can be. And I think he done extremely well when he came on in that Europa League final. But he had to wait for his chance. He got his chance. And in my opinion, I think he took his chance. But he is not good enough to be starting week in, week out for Arsenal, Joe Willock. Right? He may be in a few years. And I'd love to see him in the squads next season. But Amiachi, what has he actually done in his career to warrant coming out into the press, or his agent leaking something out into the press about, Unai Emery, I want to leave because he didn't pick me for the final? Come on, jog on to Bayern Munich then, mate. Bye-bye. Yeah, next. Next story I want to talk about. Now I'll do some of the questions. Next story I want to talk about is, thank you, Dwight. Appreciate that, my friend, very much. Thank you. Watching you from work, says George Quino. Thank you for your donation too, my friend. Don't get in trouble with your boss, buddy. Nelson on the right wing, Fraser on the left wing, says Cloister Fernandez. Do you know what? And that is exactly the point I was about to make, before I got into the next story, right? Reece Nelson is light years ahead of this Amiachi kid. And even Reece Nelson can't get in our team, hence why we loaned him out. So who does the kid think he is? Like, get rid. Keep your feet on the ground. Keep your nut down and you'll get your chance. If you don't get your chance, then cool, go somewhere else. But at the end of the day, back on my trusty sofa, exactly. At the end of the day, you've done nothing to warrant piping up in the press about not getting picked for a Europa League final when you're 18 and played 14 games for the under-23s last season. Not really. He was decent in Dubai. I must admit that, Aussie, and he was decent in Dubai. But at the end of the day, he don't warrant being in the squad for Europa League final, and especially when Aubameyang is the right winger in that game. So yeah, there we go. Right, the next story. Obviously, we've covered Lichtsteiner leaving. We've covered Amiachi. The last story I want to talk about is Mr. Ozil. A Turkish translator, I've seen the story, right? A Turkish translator has come out and said that he was sat on the bench and he weren't calling him an effing pussy. Thanks, Nick. Thank you, mate. He was saying, you are not a coach. You are not a coach, as he was spitting his dummy out in the final. Right? Now, if that is the case, add into the fact, I mean, obviously I can't speak Turkish, so I've just got to take the Turkish interpreter's word for it. Right? Man United and Arsenal favourites to sign Adrian Rabiot. Thanks for that as well, Red Devil. Appreciate your donation, mate. I'll come on to him in a minute. Bear with me on that, bruv. Yeah, bear with me. But Mesut Ozil, when you've dropped so many bad performances this season, and you've had times where you've not been picked for squads, and the manager's come out and said that I want to go down the route of somebody more physical. I think it was against Palace away, was it? One of the away games. I can't remember. I think it was Palace away. Against West Ham at home, he dropped him. And there was reports going around he had a bust-up with Emery over it and he stormed out of training and this and that, yeah? From what I gather, that was true, right? But he then worked his way back into the team and he played reasonably well. He then slipped again, back into his old ways, right? He then walks off the pitch like we're 3-1 up when we were actually getting slapped 3-1 or 4-1. I can't remember what the score was at that point. He stormed off the pitch, walking pace, and sat on the bench saying you are not a coach as he's walking past Emery, sat on the bench. So if that is the case, I can't see this geezer being here. But how do we get rid of him? Because at the end of the day, there's only two ways I can see we get rid of him. We either buy his contract out, Simon Phelan, I'm in Turkey on holiday now, and trust me, they think he's dead. Yeah, he is a dead baller, bruv. But yeah, the two ways you get rid of him is number one, you pay his contract off, you pay the 36 million quid, whatever it may be, and you just cut ties and say, get out, see you later. The second way you get rid of him is offer him around Europe. And if his marketing potential is that great, which I keep getting told it's a great marketing tool, not that I care about that, I care about performances on the pitch. Offer him around Europe for 5 million quid. Somebody would take a punt on him for 5 mil plus the 350 grand a week. That totals 41 million quid. The last option isn't to get rid of him, ditch him into the reserves. But then obviously you're still paying him. But that's up to him whether he wants to stay then, and we'll see how much of a mercenary he is, or whether he actually does want to go and play football. Do you know what? Somebody's just made a very good point there. His buyout clause is £24 million, Iron Soldier says. Do you know what? That's very true. I see that when I read the article a minute ago. His buyout clause is £24 million. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he will go for 24 million. I mean, Neto at Valencia, he's got an 88 million pound or an 80 million pound buyout clause. He ain't ever going for that, mate. So I don't know. Rabba, thanks for your donation. Offer him to Solskjaer, he'll take anyone. I'll drive him straight up there as well. Maureen Malone, thanks for your donation, darling. Thank you. Buy some new cushions. Blame the missus, seriously. All these cushions, I can barely sit on the sofa. But I really appreciate that. Thank you, darling. Right, let's come back to this Adrian Rabiot that was spoken about a short while ago. Man United are said to be in advanced talks with him. We were said to be in advanced talks with him. Personally, I think his agent's just playing a game. I think his agent's just taken the wholesale mick. And I think he's trying to get the most money for his client, which he's entitled to do. I get that. He's a free agent. But at the same time, if we're being used as a pawn in all this, get rid. Because personally, I don't think he's worth the money. I don't think he's worth 200 grand a week. You know, especially when you've got somebody like Mohamed Salah on 200 grand a week. Yes, they paid a fee for him, I get that. But look at the difference in levels, right? Rabiot, for me, he's got an attitude problem. He clearly rates himself more highly than he actually performs on the pitch, because let's be real, he ain't exactly Kevin De Bruyne, is he? So for me, if Man United want him, we cut ties and go, boom, let Solskjaer have him. Take the 200 odd bags a week. He wants to move to Liverpool, says Red Devil. We'll let him go there as well. You know, at the end of the day, they're packed with midfielders, so if he thinks he can break in over players that are there, fair play to him. But I don't think, see, Jaded AF, Rabiot is arrogant. Couldn't agree more, mate. The geezer believes his own hype. He thinks he's better. His mum is his agent. I think he sacked him, you know. I might be wrong. Sacked her. I think he sacked her. I'm not sure, though. I'm a United fan and I don't want Rabiot, says Beast Prod BYCM. Mate, I don't want him and I'm an Arsenal fan. Liverpool fan and I hate Rabiot, said Alex, the Gamer HD. Right, let's read some of these questions out. Over 700 people watching this live. If you are enjoying it, you can slap a like on it. Marco Royce says, life, nah, too injury prone in my opinion. Was a good player, but I think injuries have caught up with him now, mate. Rabiot isn't good enough for 200 grand a week. Go for Maddison, Premier League proven, says the Lynch. Do you know what? That's a good point as well, man. Maddison would cost about 60 grand, 70 grand a week, maybe. Yes, obviously you'd have to pay a fee for him, which is going to be quite high. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Would you take Sanchez back at Arsenal, says Red Devil. Thanks for your donation as well, mate. Do you know what? I said this the other day. I did my transfer update, my daily transfer update in the morning. I was a little bit worse for wear when I did that. I think that was the day after the Europa League final. But yeah, I did it in that, and I said I would take him back. But you know what? On the flip side of that, I'm not so sure, man. Like, I loved Sanchez, don't get me wrong. I thought he was superb for Arsenal. I thought he was the best player we've had for a long, long time. Since maybe Fabregas. I rated Fabregas so highly. Van Persie had a couple, one good season. But I thought Sanchez, even in his bad season at the end, he still bagged 10 goals by Christmas before we flogged him. And I was at his last game. I see him score a brace at Crystal Palace. Or was it West Brom? It might have been even West Brom, but either way, he scored in both of them games over the Christmas period. But we sold the wrong horse. We sold the wrong horse. We should have sold Ozil and kept Sanchez, because Sanchez would have fitted perfectly to Unai Emery's system. Ozil doesn't. But would I take him back? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. One day I think maybe, yeah, I'll have him. Then other days I think, what's the point? Do you know what I'm saying? Send Ozil to China, surely they'll buy him, says Sergio Hernandez. Thanks for your donation as well, mate. I'm not sure they will, mate. Do you know where I think he'd look good and play well? I think he'd be absolutely fantastic in America, like LA Galaxy or somewhere like that. He'd love all that lifestyle, but I don't know. Arsenal need to swap Lacazette for Umtiti and Malcolm, says Caleb. They'd have to give us some money as well, mate, because I don't think Umtiti's that great. If I'm being honest, he's too injured, mate. I think he's a good defender. Don't get me wrong, but it's too big a risk to splash out 50, 60 million quid on him. And Malcolm, don't get the hype around him, mate. If I'm being honest. Gary Brown says, Robbie, calling you an imitator, your show is better. Did he actually call me an imitator? Thanks for your donation as well, mate. I don't imitate anybody. I'm me, mate. My own opinions. Lee, reports say that Ozil told Emery he's not a coach and he's sat on the bench in the final. Your thoughts, the Arsenal way? I've just gone through all of that, if I'm being honest, mate. Just basically saying that we should get rid. Is there beef between you and AFTV? I got no beef with anyone, mate. I'm just living life. I doubt he called you that. No, of course he didn't call me that, man. And if he did, I'll be shocked. But yeah, I don't think he did. Me and Robbie are sound. Kepa or Leno, says Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm sure it's not the Cristiano Ronaldo. Leno, I don't rate Kepa. Don't get the hype around him, and I don't get why he's 70 million quid's worth of goalkeeper. Taken out of context, says Nick. Of course it is, man. Of course it is. Wilfred Ndidi or Xhaka. Wilfred Ndidi, mate. Why do people set up accounts of other people, man? It's just sad. What do you think of Gabriel Martinelli? Do you know what? Somebody asked me that this morning, Aaron, yeah? Somebody said, has it been officially announced? Is he officially done? To be honest, I think it is done, but I don't think they're allowed to announce it because I think he's still under contract until the end of June. But I may be wrong. So I'm sure somebody will put me right, but I think it is done. You need a haircut, lad, says Matthew. Do you know what, right? When you go abroad, you have to take tiny little gel in a clear bag, yeah? Right? So I've been using this wax, and Jesus Christ, it done half mess my hair up. Your live streams with Kenny must continue. Very good. Thank you, Rabba. I'm sure they will be continuing as well, mate. Obviously, just a minute percentage of people got the ump over saying ridiculous. Where is Bully? Long beard. Guy has disappeared. I don't know, mate. I think he still goes to games, Solomon. I see him at Chelsea away very early in the season. So I think he goes there. Kante or Torreira, that ain't even a question, mate. Thoughts on Emery's first season? Says cool videos Aziz. I think he's done reasonably well, but bottled it towards the end, if I'm being honest. We should have had top four. We should have finished third, mate, to be honest. So, kind of gutted, but I don't genuinely just blame him. These players just ain't good enough. And I thought he'd done really well to get a lot of them players playing better. But obviously they faded massively. They're all too comfortable. And they knew a lot of them, if they got Champions League, they wouldn't be here next season. Whereas a lot of them have still got a lifeline because we didn't get it. Would you take Kieran Tierney? Says Mr. E.F.R. Yes, I would, mate. I would. Prime Hazard or a prime Sanchez? Sanchez. The guy was brilliant. I like Hazard, but nah, for me, Sanchez, mate. That guy's got everything. Work rate, scores goals, not just little goals, tap-ins, penalties and stuff like that. He scores screamers. His vision's amazing, or was. Brilliant player. Joy to watch him, man. Do you think Martial could be a good addition to the squad, says Vathu Rodney? I would take Martial, you know. I think that guy's ceiling is unbelievable, man. He could have a wicked career. I just think he's got a bit of an attitude. And I don't think he wants to be at Man United. It's just whether they'd sell to us. Prime Giggs or a prime Owen? Giggs all day long, mate. Central man. Giggs all day long. Aidan says Willy Bowley. Yeah, I'll take him as well. Lacazette or Aubameyang, who would you sell? Says Stanton. Aubameyang is older. He ain't going to get any better. I think Lacazette could get better. Would you take Eric Bailey? I'm not sure. It's a gamble, man, because he's always injured, but he is a good centre-back when fit. Fred or Ndidi? Said Skurdita Singh. Ndidi, Fred's pony. Keep or sell Iwobi? Says Connor Ryan. I'd keep him for one more season. If he don't cut the mustard, bin him. Would you take Decore? Yes, I would. That was from Martin Holby. Let's see some more. Sign Isco. Oh, Isco, centre-back from Torino. He's good. I've never heard of him, if I'm being honest, mate. I'll have to have a look. I think Ozil hates Emery because he doesn't let him get away with being lazy like Wenger did, says Sergio. Thanks for your donation as well, mate. I kind of agree with that as well. I think Ozil had the life of luxury. He could do what he wants. Go shopping in Sweden, take the weekend off, duck out of challenges. He knew he was going to play every single game. Now, we can't have passengers, man, and he's one of them. So Emery's treating it how he should be treating it, and I think he should get rid of him. Mate, you are the only person I am subscribed to on YouTube. My name is Emmanuel from India. Big up yourself, Asian Fitness. Thank you for that as well. Selling Coutinho was the best thing ever. I'll tell you what, it funded a lot of their transfers. A lot of Liverpool's transfers. Would you take John Stones? No, I wouldn't, Adam. I don't rate him. Massively overrated for 50 mil. In your opinion, what do we need to get back to challenging, says Taylor K. 25 new players, if I'm being honest. An owner that's going to throw billions of pounds at it. No, in all seriousness, I think we need to get rid of some of the highest earners. And maybe copy the Liverpool type model. Go and buy some players that, you know, ain't fashionable, like the Milners, like the Hendersons, players like that. Because without them, you ain't letting your Salahs and your Manes and Firmino's thrive. Do you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we've got too many players in this squad. Mickey, Ozil, Aubameyang, they're the wrong side of 30 years old. Get rid of all of them, man. Tierney and Saliba, says Indamay. I'll take both of them. No, I don't have any beef with anyone, Jose Mourinho. I'm sure that's not the real Jose Mourinho. You can't develop a bottle, says Nick. You're right, mate. You can't. It's instilled in you from a young age. Donnarumma or Leno? I suppose that depends how Donnarumma fared in the Premier League, mate. But he is a fantastic goalkeeper. But at the moment, I'll take Leno. Bakayoko. No, keep him where he is. Who is the best footballer on a.f.c, says Shoaib? I don't know, mate, to be honest. I don't know. I've never seen any of them play football. Lee, please answer my question, says the Arsenal fan. We have made a 37 million bid for Prayer and Anderson from Sampdoria. What do you think? Never seen either of them play, so I can't comment. But listen, at the end of the day, Unai Emery is going to go out there and going to go and sign some players. Now, if he signs players like Torreira, Guendouzi, players like that, Leno, then we've got to trust his judgment, because let's be real, most of his signings in the summer paid off, didn't they? So if he's after both of them and we sign them, you've got to say, right, let's give him a crack. Can't be any worse than what we got. Did you watch MGH's sell and keep transfer video? Says Stale Doritos. I don't know who MGH is, my friend. I don't know what you mean. Thoughts on Ferran Thomas, says Shady Mark. I actually spoke about him in my transfer update this morning. I think that's an Emery signing, and I'd take that. Cheap, Spanish, right winger. What are we going to lose? 19 million euros? Take him all day long. What do you think of Ryan Fraser? Where's that question gone? It says Robert Weeks. I'd take him in a heartbeat, mate. I would take him in an absolute heartbeat. He's better than what we've got. He knows how to cross a ball, which is something most of our players don't. Right, let's do 4 more minutes and then I'm getting out of here. Big up Lee from Ireland. Thank you, Patrick Ronan. Big up yourself. Still on the wine. Yeah, man. Do you know what? I've drunk so much wine in France, yeah. I swear, it's mad. I've actually put weight on as well, believe it or not. First time in about a decade I've actually put weight on. Cheese and wine, exactly. Cheese and wine. Love it. Oh, MGV is an Arsenal YouTuber, says Shady Mark. I never knew. I'll have to go and check his channel out, mate. Thanks for letting me know that. Sign Gary Cahill. No thanks. No thanks, Stav. No thanks. He can stay at Chelsea. I don't want him anywhere near Arsenal. Mario Hermoso has signed for Atletico Madrid. Magical Mickey says. Has he really? Fair play to him. He's a top player, man. Alfie Cook, thank you for your donation, buddy. I think we should go for Ziyech. I do too as well, mate. I think that would be a perfect signing for Arsenal. The problem is he's going to have some of the biggest clubs in world football looking at him. And we are a big club, but some of these clubs are in Champions League, and I think that could be the deciding factor. Kuatadin, I've butchered your name. Kuatidan T. I'll get that right one day, mate. Thank you for your donation. We were unlucky with injuries, or is it the training ground methods? Do you know what, right? That is a brilliant question, my friend, and it could be a bit of both. We were unlucky to lose Welbeck early on because he was in good form at the time. We were unlucky to lose Rob Holding because he was playing brilliant, and then we were unlucky to lose Bellerin, who was playing well. So maybe it is the training ground methods, you know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's they've been pushed too hard, and eventually it's come undone because obviously Aaron Ramsey got an injury towards the end. And I think if we had had Ramsey in that running, I think we would have got top 4. Wemsey, thank you for your donation, buddy. Think Toby Alderweireld will ever come to Arsenal? Apparently there is a no Arsenal clause in his Tottenham contract. So I'm not sure that could happen. So yeah, I don't think that'll happen, my friend. Let's read some more of these. Let's do another couple of minutes and now I'm out of here. Did you watch Fogden's video about you? I don't know who Fogden is, mate. What's a Fogden? I don't know what that is, mate. I don't know who he is. How long would you give Emery, says Adam Coggins. I'd give him another season. I'd extend it for one more as well. So give him 2, because there's an option to extend. I'd give him 2 more seasons, see where we're at in 2 more seasons once he's actually got his own squad. I know a lot of people who disagree with that. They think he's just the Spanish Wenger and all this and that. I get it. I do get it. I get why people are thinking that. But a lot of these people are not thinking logically and not thinking, you know, we could go and get Allegri. Let's say we go and get Allegri. What's Allegri going to do with Granit Xhaka and Mustafi? Let's be real. Why is our club always a project? That's a bloody good question, mate. That is a bloody good question. So yeah, it is always a project. Fogden is a YouTuber. Never heard of him, mate. Couldn't care less. Love Island tonight. No, I won't be watching it. Although I did watch last series. I thought it was a bit pony. The one with, I think it was Chris. Yeah, that Chris and Kem. I watched that one. My missus loves it. That one was actually really good. Would you be... This is a wicked question, Courtney Burke. Would you be happy to pay an extra tenner a year on the season ticket to fund a payoff deal for Ozil? I'd pay an extra 100, mate. I'd pay an extra 100. I'd cover 9 more people's. Son or Ali, says Cristiano. Son all day long. He is a baller, man. He is the one player at Tottenham I would take all day long, like just like that. That guy is so good. Outlaw 187, shout you out. There you go. Ozil or Son, that's a no contest. Nathan Aki says David Frost. Yes, I'd take him. He's better than Mustafi. Do you think we should sign Carrasco, says Mark. I'd take him, mate. I think he's being wasted out in China at a young age. How good was Arsenal in the final, says De Barbara. Rubbish. Mario Götze as an Ozil replacement. Not for me, mate. It's not 2012, unfortunately. Do you watch EastEnders? No, I don't, because I don't like it. And if I don't like something, I don't watch it. People should take note. Your room looks beautiful. I'm sat on the sofa, literally. There's my kitchen in the background. I'm literally just sat on my sofa. Would you take Alderweireld? I would take him, but I don't think he's coming. Third best player in the world. Kevin De Bruyne is the third best player in the world. Well, I'm going to do one more question because I'm getting a phone call coming in and I'm getting harassed on it. So that's why it's lagging, everyone. I'm getting harassed on the phone calls. So yeah, last question. Let's see. Do you see Limburg managing Arsenal in the future, says Savin M. I don't, if I'm being honest. I genuinely don't. We'll do one more. Do you cook? Yes, I do. I'm a very, very good cook. Right, thank you very much to everybody who's watched. Nearly 800 people right now, and it was actually over that at one stage. If you have enjoyed the content, before you leave, stick a thumbs up on the video and subscribe if you're new as well. And thank you to every single one of you who donated to me as well. I appreciate that. I will be back tomorrow with my daily transfer update. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Until then, thank you very much.